This story is tragic in a lot of different ways. There's some points that I'm going to bring up pertaining to race and a lot of other things, but completely avoidable. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer if you're not familiar with my type of content about this particular story. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from illicitdeeds.com. So Illicit Deeds, my friend, if you're out there listening, thank you for this article. Great job, and continue to keep it up. You can find Illicit Deeds on illicitdeeds.com and Illicit Deeds on Facebook. 4 individuals, including one of the alleged Florida suspect's mother, so the mother got involved, are facing federal charges in a murder-for-hire scheme that resulted in the killing of a 17-year-old girl, high school girl, and I think I have her name here. Her name is Isabella Scavelli. Isabella Scavelli. Scavelli. And she was 17 years old. She was a high school student in Brooksville, according to reports. The Hernando County Sheriff's Office, the U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Florida, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, the ATF, came together Thursday morning to announce the charges of 36-year-old Leonard White. Let me see if I can pull up a picture that has their names. So Leonard White is on the far right-hand side. He's the one who's actually accused of sexually assaulting the 17-year-old girl. So here's what you guys got to know. Let's go back. That man is 36 years old, allegedly sexually assaulting a 17-year-old girl. And I think that she has the God-given right and she has the legal right to be able to tell her story to the authorities and let the prosecutors and the police handle that accordingly. But for them to try to stop her, and you're talking about potentially 4 black people threw their own lives away to try to end the life of one black person, meaning you have 5 black people that have thrown their lives away. And I always wonder this, and I always ask this question, #BLM, if Black Lives Matter, which I believe they do, but if we're going to use that acronym, had to remember the word, if we're going to use that acronym, BLM, then I think that the words themselves, Black Lives Matter, should apply to black people. I don't see enough of that, enough care about your own life, about the life of others, and people who look just like you. I wouldn't want somebody harming our black queens, right? I thought black people didn't want nobody hurting our black queens, and women are queens and they should be protected and uplifted. But I guess if they're children, it don't matter, huh? It only matters if they're grown and have kids. This whole dynamic in the United States of America, in our society, pertaining specifically to black folks, I am at a loss. I am completely confused about what our stance is. What do we stand on? It seems like the only thing that we stand on is when the police do something to black people. Now black people stand in unison, which I think is a very dangerous and very stupid thing to do. Imagine if this alleged, this mysterious white man wanted to hurt black people. The easiest way to do that is to get them all in one room. So all you got to do is just go hurt one of them, and then they all come out in arms. I'm just saying, I just think it's a little bit weird to just jump out for this alleged noble cause when police officers aren't really known to do that much to black men as it is anyway, let alone comparing them to white folks, because white folks stand the brunt of that more than any other race in the United States. Hear it from some white folks. Let some white folks tell you about how that police brutality go. But let's get off of that. And let's get back to this. If Black Lives Matter, which is the reason I brought this up, really matters, then why is it that black people can so easily give away their time and their lives to the prison system and put each other in the graves if it's really that serious? We do it ad nauseum. We do it and don't blink an eye. We do it and make fun of people when they pass away. Stepping on people's graves, urinating on graves, making jokes about dead folks. This is stuff that we do. This is stuff that I've seen. This is stuff that I've seen on video that people do. Posted it on live. They think it's funny. Why didn't this black lady's life matter? If Sandra Bland's life mattered, which I believe it did, then why didn't Isabella Scavelli's life matter? If Sandra Bland's life mattered, why didn't her life matter to people who reside in her community, her family, her friends, her peers, in her city? They didn't value her life. Why? Because the law was going to come down on a man and hold him accountable for trying to take something that was not consensual from an underage child. Legally, she's a child in the state of Florida. She doesn't become age of consent until age 18. So he was trying to rob her of that innocence and rob her of her personal decisions. 5 people. 36-year-old Leonard White, his life is going to be gone. 21-year-old Sheldon Robinson, his life is going to be done. 22-year-old Keyshawn Woods, his life is going to be done. And even 44-year-old Janet Williams, which that's crazy. So I'm assuming Janet Williams is the parent to whom? I don't know. I don't know which one she's the parent to. But she's going to end up losing some time. Probably not as much as those men are in prison. The investigation began back on February the 6th when a 17-year-old girl and her mother went to a sheriff's office to report a crime, which is their God-given legal right to be able to do. Authorities said that the 17-year-old had accused White of sexually assaulting her. Let me see if I can get his face back up on the screen so you can know exactly who we're talking about. That's the man on the far right-hand side of the screen. The very next day, the teen and her mother were at home and got a knock on the door. When the teen answered the door, authorities said Robinson and Woods, let's go back. The one in the middle and the one on the left, Robinson and Woods, shot multiple rounds into the home. The 17-year-old girl was shot 4 times and died from her injuries. Her mother was also shot but able to make a full recovery. During the shootout, Woods lost a shoe, which was traced back to him using police canines, and the shoe's mate was later found in the getaway car. There you go. Stupid is the stupid thugs. Before the shooting, White paid Robinson $10,000 to kill this girl. So the price of this baby's life, and I have a daughter, this is what's really disturbing. My daughter is almost her age. I could actually be her father. Bright smile. That child could have grown up to become anything and was probably on her way to becoming something great. And she was robbed of that, taken advantage of, And then when she's just trying to make the wrong right, they gun her down and kill her, ending her life. White paid Robinson $10,000 to kill the teen because he was afraid of her reporting the assault, authorities said. In turn, Robinson solicited help in the murder by way of social media. He paid Woods $4,000 to help him, so he passed off some of the money to his buddy. Janet Williams is the mother of Robinson and is accused of making false statements to ATF during their investigation. And I'm glad they arrested her for that. And I hope that they give her like 15 years in prison because her participation hindered this case. And I think that they should get a bundle of time in prison so they understand. That's the only way they'll understand. Lying, misleading the authorities is hindering a case and potentially could have caused people who caused this death to get away. And I think that should be taken way more seriously. White, Robinson, and Woods were charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire, discharge of a firearm during and in relation to a crime of violence that caused the death of the teen, and other charges. All three of them face life in prison at the very least, or the federal death penalty. They're in Florida, according to court documents. Williams faces 15 years in federal prison, so they got it right. Thank you. That was perfect. 15 years, if you ask me, sounds about right for the woman who lied. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Like I said, I know I say a lot of things that people might not understand, but I always ask that people keep an open mind as well as an open heart. Do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. We got a couple of news stories. Let's go.
New this midday, 3 men are in jail arrested in a murder for hire scheme that left a 17-year-old girl dead and her mother seriously injured. We're learning new details of that crime right now from the Hernando County Sheriff's Office. 10 Tampa Bay's Hannah Deneen live for us in Brooksville, joining us with the latest. And Hannah, investigators, they say that they've been working really hard on this case for months now.
Yes, Courtney, the Hernando County Sheriff's Office says this stems back 9 months to February 6th. That's when the sheriff says a 17-year-old girl and her mother came to their office to report that she had been sexually assaulted. The very next day, detectives say 2 men showed up on their doorstep and fired shots. The girl did not survive. Now, according to the Hernando County Sheriff's Office, the investigation that followed led law enforcement to 36-year-old Leonard White, the man accused of sexually assaulting the girl, as well as 21-year-old Sheldon Robinson and 22-year-old Keyshawn Woods. Detectives believe after the assault was reported, White contacted Robinson and Woods, offering $10,000 and cocaine in exchange for them to kill the girl in order to prevent her from pursuing charges against him.
A young lady who had, by all accounts, a very bright future, was doing things to set herself up for a bright future, doing the right things, making the right decisions. It does add a little bit more, maybe a tiny bit more passion to it when it is a true victim. And that's, as far as we know, everything we've seen, every rock we uncovered, this was a true victim of sexual battery and murder.
Now, the sheriff says that White and the victim knew each other prior to that sexual assault allegation, but did not say what their relationship was. In addition to this murder for hire, these men also face charges with witness tampering and disposing of evidence and more. In Hernando County, Hannah Deneen, 10 Tampa Bay.
Right now, unraveling a murder for hire scheme in Hernando County after a 17-year-old girl was gunned down on her doorstep. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay here at 5:30. I'm Josh Sidorowitz.
And I'm Courtney Robinson. 10 Tampa Bay's Hannah Deneen spoke with investigators today who say that they have been working on this case for months. Hannah.
This all stems back 9 months to February 6th. That's when the Hernando County Sheriff's Office says a 17-year-old girl and her mother came to their office to report that she had been sexually assaulted. The very next day, detectives say 2 men showed up on their doorstep and shot both the girl and her mother. The girl did not survive.
The bullet that caused her death entered her lower left back area, suggesting that she was shot in the back as she was trying to run.
Multiple agencies working to solve what they describe as a calculated murder of an innocent Brooksville girl.
She was a good kid with a very bright future, and to see her life cut short is heart-wrenching, to say the least.
The shooting investigation immediately led detectives to 36-year-old Leonard White, the man accused of sexually battering the girl. Detectives say they learned White offered 21-year-old Sheldon Robinson $10,000 to kill the girl to prevent her speaking out on the sexual battery. Robinson posted this photo on social media, recruiting help for a, quote, cleanup job in exchange for $5,000 and cocaine. Detectives say 22-year-old Keyshawn Woods answered that call.
This murder was senseless, a violent crime that must be answered for, and today is a huge step in that direction.
The sheriff says that White and the victim knew each other prior to that sexual assault, but did not elaborate on their relationship. Now, in addition to these murder-for-hire charges, these men also face charges for witness tampering and disposing of evidence and more. If convicted on all counts, they face mandatory life in prison or the federal death penalty. In Hernando County, Hannah Deneen, 10 Tampa Bay.
Developing now at noon, deputies in Hernando County have arrested 4 people in an alleged murder-for-hire plot in connection to the shooting death of a 17-year-old girl back in February. Isabella Scavelli was a junior at Hernando High School. A relative was also injured by gunfire. And today, 4 suspects face state and federal charges. 3 could be imprisoned for life. For the latest, we're joined by Fox 13's Josh Cassio. And Josh, this investigation took 9 months. That's a pretty long time.
Yeah, and that's because this was a very complicated case involving multiple suspects who were allegedly doing everything they could to try and cover up this crime. In fact, we're told at least 70 warrants had to be issued to get to the bottom of it all. Here's what we know. This is according to Hernando County Sheriff Al Nienhuis. Back on February 6th, Isabella Scavelli went with a relative to the Hernando County Sheriff's Office to report that she had been sexually assaulted by 36-year-old Leonard White, someone she knew. A day later, Scavelli hears a knock on the door. When she and her relative open it, they're met by 2 men who opened fire on them. Scavelli was killed. Her relative survived. The sheriff says those 2 men were hired by White to kill her. More specifically, White allegedly paid a man named Sheldon Robinson $10,000 to kill Scavelli. Robinson then took to social media looking for a helper, offering $5,000 and drugs as payment. We actually have a photo right there that he posted on social media showing the drugs in cash. Keyshawn Woods, a known gang member, was said to be the other guy to sign up for the hit. And it gets worse. Deputies say Robinson's mother also lied to investigators about her son's involvement, so she is facing charges as well. All 4 suspects face serious state and federal charges in connection with this alleged murder-for-hire plot. The sheriff saying by all accounts, Scavelli had a bright future. She was not involved in any dangerous behavior. She did everything right and tragically still had her life cut short.
Also right now, a break in a murder-for-hire investigation. Hernando County deputies just made what they're calling a major announcement. And News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers is live in Brooksville. She's at the sheriff's office. And what was the announcement, Nicole?
Stacey, good morning. This announcement was absolutely heartbreaking and just an appalling story. One that Sheriff Nienhuis says all started here at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office on February 6th when a 17-year-old woman came into the sheriff's office here in Brooksville with her relatives saying she was sexually battered by a man that goes by the name of Leonard White.
Let's go ahead and stop that right there. My closing thoughts is they absolutely, all 3 of them, deserve a life sentence. I think Florida, and I don't know if Florida is actually listening, even like Polk County, shout out to Sheriff Grady Judd. Like, maybe they watch me, maybe they don't. Maybe they're heeding to some of my suggestions. But I do like the fact that it seems like they got this right. Those 3 men need to be in prison for life sentences. They don't need to be able to get out of that. That should never be overturned. For the woman, the mother, or whoever it was that was participating in lying to the ATF, 15 years, I think that is beautiful. And if that's a fair charge, I hope she does 100% of that time. I don't want her to get any time off at all. Because they all, in some shape, form, or fashion, participated in the loss of life of this girl for what? So she was supposed to lose her bodily sanctity because somebody was trying to steal it from her? Told the police, which is what she's supposed to do. We're not supposed to handle this in some vigilante fashion, like telling your dad maybe, and then dad rounding up the troops and then going to go take these men out, right? That's not what we do. What we're supposed to do is let the authorities know. And what if they do? They turn around and come up with this stupid idea of murder for hire for money and drugs. They're in prison and going to be in prison for life after their conviction. I have no doubt that they're going to be convicted. And now our society has lost 5 black lives. 4 of those lives weren't doing anything positive anyway. But again, that's what we have going on here. And I hate looking at those dudes' faces. To this young queen, this young princess, Isabella, R.I.P. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Let me know what you guys think about my comments also. If you feel like I got something incorrect, let me know. But debate me on the facts. Don't debate me on your opinions. But leave your opinion though.